Hey guys, today's video is part 1 in a series of 3 parts testing the different level 3A body armor panels that AR500 Armor offers. For anybody that isn't quite sure or doesn't know exactly, level 3A is below level 3 body armor. Typically level 3A body armor panels are rated for all of your common pistol threats. Typically 3A is rated at 9mm, 124 grain at 1400 feet per second, or 44 mag, 240 grain at 1400 feet per second. Currently AR500 Armor offers 3 different variations in level 3A. The one on my left here is their 3A Rimelig body armor. This guy weighs 1 pound, 7.2 ounces. It is approximately just over half an inch thick there. This is their budget panel. The one in the middle here is their hybrid level 3A. It weighs 1 pound, 1 ounce, so it's really light. And it's only just over 1/4 inch thick, so it's really thin and it's flexible. Our third plate to the right all the way over here is their level 3A hard plate with PaxCon coating. This guy weighs 5 pounds 2 ounces and is about almost half inch thick, 0.420 with the coating on there. So without further ado, let's get into testing. So for part 1 in this series, we are going to test AR500 Armor's budget 3A panel, and that is their Rimelig panel. So in order to test these soft panels, we need some kind of compressible media. So for majority of the tests that I'm pretty certain that it won't penetrate, we have a briefcase full of clay here. This is a non-hardening clay similar to the clay they use for testing backface deformation, but when I attempted to calibrate it, I was on the low end of the backface deformation measurement compared to what it should be. Try to measure the numbers, but just realize that they're not scientific in any means, they're just as a reference. We also have a 10% block of ballistics gel for any rounds that may go through, so we can kind of see what the wound path looks like after it penetrates. Essentially, we'll take the panel here and we will use 2 bungee straps and strap it to the clay, take a shot, see if it penetrated, and we'll go up from there. So first up, we've got a 4.95 inch barrel 9mm, 115 grain full metal jacket. We're at 10 feet. Recorded velocity 1200 feet per second. So here's our shot. Our bullet is inside. It broke the back cover. This is just a cover. There's the dimple left. Like I said, this clay is not calibrated to accurately measure backface deformation. I feel it's better than using the hardening modeling clay, so that's why I chose it. So let's move up to something else. So now we're going to go to a longer barrel 9mm. This is a Scorpion Evo 3 S1 pistol with a 7.72 inch barrel. We have some 123 grain ZQI. This is NATO spec. Velocity on that was 1261. So there's our impact. There's our dimple. A little deeper and bigger than the pistol 9. But it stopped it. It's in the vest there. When we're done, we'll go home and cut this apart and see if we can recover some of these rounds that we were not wasting a bunch of time trying to do it in between shots. Let's see what we got next. So let's move up to something a little faster. We have our Kel Tec PMR 30 here. This has the extended threaded barrel on it. It's around 5 inches. And we have some Humidity 30 grain VMAX. velocity on that was 1707. So here was our shot with the 22 mag. just a little there. It's in the vest somewhere. There's no pass through. Let's go something a little faster. So let's go to something a little faster. This is the infamous FN57 pistol. We're going to shoot the 40 grain American Eagle TMJ out of this, and if it doesn't go through, we have the SS198 LF as well. Impact velocity on that was kind of low, 1581.
Yep.
So here was our shot. That was low velocity on an AE TMJ round. Normally I get about 1650. There's our dimple. That's a pretty deep dimple there. Here's our back side of the vest. It didn't go through. It's in there, but it cracked that back pretty good. It's getting close. Let's go to something even faster. So now we have something a little faster than 5.7. This is the SS198 LF. Impact velocity was 2,076 feet per second. So here is our impact on our 198. Unfortunately, we have a pass-through. There's nothing inside the vest there. And if you look down inside the hole there, you can see the round. Give us a second and we'll pull that out. So there was a SS198 round that penetrated. It went about 2 inches into the clay. We'll retest that again on their hybrid armor. So here's something that you very rarely see on anybody else's channel except for mine. This is SB193. This is the factory subsonic 5.7 round. We're going to see what it does against level 3A. Impact velocity was 970 feet per second. So here is our impact with SB193. This is a note we're well away from everything. And unfortunately, we have another pass through. My theory behind it is the SB193 is a 55 grain FMJ. I do believe they were made by Sierra at one point. And with the copper jacket being as thick as it is, and because the bullet's pointed, it's able to pass through these vests without deforming, so it keeps its pointy shape, and that's typically how it penetrates. To give you an idea, this clay is about 3.5 inches deep. The bullet was somewhere down in there. I couldn't recover it. It probably dug into this wood backer that I have, so we'll have to maybe dig that apart later. So how about a specialty 9mm? This is a solid copper spun 80 grain 9mm from Fort Scott Munitions. We'll do this out of the 4.95 inch pistol. $13.90. So here is our shot, and unfortunately we have a pass through. We actually have a complete pass through. It goes all the way in and out my wood substructure back here. It's a good thing I built more of those. Let's see what else we can throw at this vest. How about a Magnum gun? Here we've got a 6-inch Desert Eagle 50 cal Action Express. We have some of the IMI 300 grain jacketed hollow points. Let's see what this is going to do. So here's our shot. I didn't get a velocity rating off that. I'll have to throw one through the chrono a little later. Look at the size of that dimple. I mean, that's a big hole. But, and it tore this all to shreds. This is the rubber backing. But the bullet is actually in the vest. There's a big chunk of lead right there. With a dimple that big, I don't know if I'd trust 3A to stop 50 AE. I might want to step up to a hard panel, but cool. So here's our Rimelig 3A panel. I said we cut it open towards the end, just so we're not taking up too much time. We'll see if we can get this sheathing off of here. It's just some nylon coating. The back's got like a rubber neoprene on it. I'm assuming this helps disperse energy. Here's all our Kevlar. We won't count layers. Here's that big Here's that big 50. Expanded it pretty nicely. 9mm was up here. The pistol. Didn't make it very far in there. There's the 115 grain from the pistol. This one's from the Scorpion over here. This one may be a little harder to get to. Here's our recovered ZQI 9mm from the Evo. It was about not very far in there. So here's our AE TMJ round. It went almost quite a ways in there. And right there is our 30 grain VMAX. Went a good ways in there. I don't think as far as the AE-TMJ though. Probably because it rapidly expanded and lost energy. There's the jacket. So here was that final impact crater from the 50 AE. That's definitely a lot of energy transferred in there. Like I said, this clay is not the clay you would typically use. I chose to use it over the modeling clay because it's non-hardening, it can be reformed, and when I did attempt to calibrate it, it was on the low end spec for what they typically do use, but these are just for numbers. The depth is 42.16 millimeters. Maximum backface deformation is 44. So again, I probably wouldn't be feeling too good after taking a hit from a 50 AE with level 3A. So here was our recovered SB 193 round. I sectioned a piece of clay off and dug it out. The round actually hit the metal frame of the box here and then dug into the wood. Started to penetrate, didn't get very far. Still amazing, that subsonic 55 grain FMJ penetrated. As we close on part 1 of this 3-part series testing AR500 Armor's level 3A panels, this Rimelig panel did really well. It stopped pretty fast 22 Magnum. It stopped the American Eagle TMJ 57. It couldn't stop SB 193 or SS 198 or that solid copper 9mm that we shot it against. But your really common pistol threats, even at higher velocity from a longer barrel, certainly were able to stop it, even stop this 50 AE. So look forward to part 2. Who knows what we're going to test next. Thanks for watching, everybody.